Good morning, class. So today we are going to talk about intonation. And when we talk about intonation, this is the rise and fall of voice in speaking. In English, there are basically two kinds of intonation, which are rising and falling intonation. We can use arrows to show the intonation, whether rising or falling. So when the arrow is pointing down, represent falling intonation, and when the arrow is pointing up, represent the rising intonation. Now, in between the falling and rising intonation, we are being told when to use the falling intonation and when to use the rising intonation. Now, as you can see below there, we have the when to use the falling intonation. So, number one, it is usually happens in statement. For example, I like banana. It is nice to work with you. She traveled to Eldoret. So when you are talking about a statement, we use the falling intonation. Secondly, WH question. For example, what is your name? Where do you live? How old are you? Who is this young man? Now, those are WH questions, and in WH question, we usually use the falling intonation. Number 3 is command. When you want to give a command, give out now. Give me the money. Close your books. So there we also use the what? Falling intonation. Last but not least, we have exclamatory sentences, e.g., what a wonderful present. How nice of you. Those are exclamatory sentences, and we also use the falling intonation. And then we have the rising intonation. When to use the rising intonation. So in rising intonation, when you're asking a general question, a question that simply needs the answer to be either yes or no. When the answer needs to be either yes or no. So, for example, do you visit them often? So that the answer can either be yes or no. Have you seen her? It can either be yes or no. Are you ready to start? It can either be yes or no. So could you give me a pen, please? So those are the general questions. So the general question, we use the what? Rising intonation. Secondly, alternative questions. Alternative questions whereby you are supposed to choose between the two. For example, do you want coffee or tea? So you have to choose between coffee or tea. Does he speak Swahili or English? Are we together? So secondly is with alternative question. Thirdly, before tag question. Before tag question. Here is where we talk about the isn't it, is she, shouldn't she. Are we together? So this is beautiful place. So our tag question is, isn't it? Are we together? She knows him. Doesn't she? Are we together? So those are the, can also use them with rising intonation. Those are the before tag question. Last but not least, we have enumerating, counting of things, enumerating. For example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we together? So that is rising. She bought bread, cheese, oranges, and apples. So when you are listing a list of things, you also use the what? Rising intonation. So that's all about it. That's all about it. You can see an exercise down there. I want you to do A to G. Please, can you do the work and submit it in my inbox? Otherwise, have a lovely morning.